Hi everyone, I hope you're good guys and welcome for a new video. So today we're gonna talk about kick and how to make kick in the style of Joyhauser, Charlotte de Witte and Umek. So before to start listening how does it sound, keep in mind there is absolutely nothing on the master as you can see here. So let's listen Joyhauser. So I had a bit of rumble just to give you an idea. But yeah, you get this distorted punchy kick. For Charlotte de Witte, you got more something like round and heavy subby kick, and Umek, you got more this punchy tight kind of kick. Alright, and for this kick I use only Ableton plugin and Ableton samples. I just use 1909 kick from my library, but I will link it with the rest as well. So let's get started with the Joyhauser kick. Basically what you need, like I said, you can use the 909 kit from Ableton. So just the 909 core kit here. And yeah, basically you need the kick. And what I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna add basically the kick here up. 1, 2, like this I can loop it. Alright, I'm just gonna put the velocity at the maximum. And so one thing I like to do with kick, and which can be interesting, it's to add filter. Basically you add a low pass filter, but you're gonna apply an envelope to open this filter quick, and you're gonna get this punchy snappy effect. So let me show you. I've got this low pass filter 24 dB. I'm just gonna put OSR mode to add some drive. You can use different kind of other filter to add different kind of drive obviously. And now it's super distorted, but the point is bring down the frequency around, yeah, let's say 85 Hz, and I'm gonna crank up the resonance as well, around 80% as well. Now you got that. The point is to add this envelope. So you go to control and then you go to envelope and you have filter envelope here, and you're gonna see how as much as I crank up you get this nice punchy effects coming. So what I like to do is I put to the maximum, and after I play with the GK. Yeah, something like this. Obviously now it's very sharp because the envelope here, it's kind of bring the GK around 300 maybe, because I don't want something with a too long tail, a bit of maybe release to smooth things. Alright, like this. Alright, and that's a good base to start. Now what you want to do is add a bit of saturation to obviously make it more powerful and a bit more punchier. So I'm gonna use saturator. Just be careful, bring it outside of the drum rack, because here basically all of the chain are going into this return where there is another effect. So if you apply saturation on the chain itself of the kick, it might apply the saturation different. So go outside of the drum rack, bring saturation, analog clip mode, and you can just, yeah, good 6 dB of drive is fine. And just gonna reduce a little bit the output. Now I want another saturator, but we have a different function. You see they have this distorted sound on top, and I'm gonna change from analog clip to soft sine. You get different flavor. Bring the drive, and you see if you go a little bit even further you can get something a bit crazier, but I like a little bit like this, it's fine. And when you put in DC mode as well, you get another nice kind of effect. So I use the DC mode in this case, but up to you to experiment with obviously. And yeah, that's it for the saturation. Now I feel like we can add a bit more punch. I have my rack kick punch up where, let me go to here. So I will put the description if you want to find out more about it. Basically what this rack does, it keeps the original signal, and you have a parallel signal where I apply amp and EQ and reverb, but it's not rumble, it's really on the top of your kick to add like to let you keep kick thread through the mix. So here's a bit too much, but yeah, let's leave it like this to hear the effect. I'm gonna bring down the high pass filter to let more frequency pass, a bit more crunch, a bit less reverb. Yeah, basically it's a very short reverb, so basically you have just a little bit of effect of the reverb, but not too much, you know. And yeah, then after I'm just gonna, what I like to do is bringing the effect just when I start to hear it, I stop. Because I don't want the effect to be too pronounced. So around here it's fine. So we got already a nice punchy kick, but I'm gonna add a bit of rumble because this kind of kick, it's always need a bit of rumble. So I use my kick verb rub. Again, I will put the link in the description. Basically, it's a basic rumble rack effect. There is just one thing I've done here. So I'm gonna add a bit of rumble. And you got what I want to do is to have my rumble offbeat. You see, to have like, not in the center and the kick. Here it's in center and the kick, but I want my rumble to be like kind of offbeat. And with the pre-delay, you can do that. So here is the same time, but you see around here you have the rumble offbeat, and I'm just gonna bring a bit more decay to make it a little bit longer, the rumble. But I'm gonna bring down the frequency because I want to be more subby. No more subby, but no die. No da. Yeah, something like this. So one thing I haven't done in the original rack, but I need to make an update honestly, is to use utility and to kind of, you can either bass mono under 120 or make it fully mono. Maybe I'm gonna reduce gain of the rumble, but it's up to you. I need to do that. You can apply some sidechain as well. I'm not gonna do it now, but you can obviously apply a bit of sidechain. Alright, that's our kick so far. And then I've had, so this rack, I've never made a video, but I already use it in other video. It's called Kick Stereo. Where is it? Yeah, this one, Kick Stereo. Basically, I never made a video because it's a kind of a weird rack. It's basically again parallel processing. You have the dry one, and then you have this kind of stereo width effect that I will never usually do on the kick. But I don't know. Usually this rack it's work well on kick, so that's why I'm using it most of the time. So let's. Just gonna put the dry at 0. Reduce a little bit the effect, and here again you can decide how much of the filter you want to be. So left like this, maybe a bit more drive, and a bit more filter width, and a bit less of filter amount. And this way you got, it's a bit same kind of effect than the kick punches. Really help you kick cut through the mix. And then final things I will do, I will probably add a limiter right here. And yeah. And then we got our Joyhauser Kick. So that was the first one. Alright, so let's scrap this. And let's go through the Charlotte de Witte kick. So basically, again, I'm gonna use a 909 kick, but this time I use one of my library. So I will put, the kick will be available for free, you can grab it. I use this one, the 5-1, and I'm gonna again put it in the drum rack. And again, I'm gonna put a kick here, and I'm gonna bring the velocity at the maximum. Whoop. Alright, so that's our bass classic 909 kick. Just gonna put it in short mode. And here again, I'm gonna apply a filter, and basically it's gonna be a bit different, but it's the same principle. So 12 dB low pass filter, I'm gonna use the Prodigy this time. Again, this is all about experimentation basically. You have to find out which one suits yourself better or according to your taste, experiment. But yeah, I'm just gonna crank up a little bit the drive, and then again control, go to envelope 72, and here maybe a little bit longer, But yeah, you get this kind of same. And then again, you can experiment with the cutoff, change for different flavor. That's really up to you to experiment, maybe add a bit of resonance, experiment. So basically next things I want to do, add air bass effect. It's a corpus effect. Basically corpus is a resonator, and I've created this preset air bass. Don't look for it in your library, you won't find it, but you can just copy and save it to your own library, and it's adding resonance in your low frequency according to your tune. So I just want a little bit, just adding a little bit of this body. You don't want a too pronounced effect because you can mess around with everything. Then again, same done before, I'm gonna use saturator right here, and more or less same done with the Joyhauser. Just a bit of dry to add a bit of punch. Next step, I'm gonna add a bit of tube distortion. So this is there is a lot of kicks nowadays with tube distortion. You can hear it's kind of very particular kind of distortion, and that's what I'm gonna apply here. So what I like to do is crank up the output and then bring down the drive, maybe a bit more. And then after you can experiment with the tone and the, yes, obviously after it's too much, but just a little. Yeah, around 70%. And then I keep in A mode. Again, you can experiment with that. But tube distortion work well on kick. Is give this, I don't know how to explain, but give a bit more body and add this own taste to your kick. And now we get already this kind of nice, round, heavy kick. Alright, and now I just feel like my kick needs to breathe. So again, I'm gonna use my kick punch rack. And same purpose, add a bit of top reverb. So I'm gonna filter it a little bit much, a bit more. Yeah, we can go a little bit more like this on this one. And I'm gonna leave the reverb like this. And then let me yeah, let's leave like this actually. Alright, and now we can add our rumble again. Kick verb. But already you get a great. Yeah, if you're scared of that, I mean, you can hear it's not really distorted. I'm just gonna put a limiter, but don't bother too much about this red stuff as far as it sounds good. I mean, here's mainly because I have another limiter, which is obviously yes. Otherwise it sounds weird, but yeah. Bring your limiter and it's fine. I usually always work with a limiter at the end of the chain when I'm working with my kick because it's a way to crank up your distortion, saturation a lot without getting crazy, distorted, weird artifact. So adding a bit of rumble. So here I didn't use the trick with the pre-delay like the one before. And yeah, the only thing I've done, I reduced a little bit. I like it a bit more subby, and I just bring the bass in mono. Yeah, actually I know why I didn't put this device. Basically when I create the kick verb is because basically I didn't have this bass mono, was like on Live 9 if I remember well, and I didn't have that. So but I will soon make an update. I know it's a long time I'm saying that, but I will make an update where I will put this and maybe a sidechain compression, and I have few other ideas, but yeah. And yeah, you kind of kick, you kind of Charlotte de Witte kick, similar to the one I show you. Alright, and finally we're gonna create the Umek one. So for this one, it's 100% Ableton, and I use my Kick designer rack. So again, if you want to find out more, I'm not going to go in detail everything what it does, but basically this rack is basically kind of a Kick punch rack or a Kick 2. This plugin kind of layering. You have the Kick, which is basically the body, which is like the sound design center of the Kick. And then after you have sample that you can play, on the top. And yeah, so I'm just gonna create MIDI rack, MIDI clip, and I'm gonna put all of this tool right here to be able to loop and to hear it better. So that's how it comes by default. And let's focus on the Kick. So you can play with the parameter. I'm gonna want to short decay. First, I'm gonna get rid of this rumble I don't want here. I'm gonna come back to this parameter later. Maybe the pitch a bit lower. Pitch attack around here. This after you just have to experiment and see how things goes. Maybe a bit more tune dev. Okay, that sounds about no bad. Good sounding point. You can always come back and change the way you want. So there is a lot of effect behind that if you want to find out more. But yeah, basically it's like if you had like your 808 or 909 and you create the body of your Kick basically. And then I didn't use top for this one, and I use tool. So I use this sample, but I just pitch it a little bit down. So after it's again, you have to experiment and see what's fit the best. A bit less decay maybe. Yeah, and a bit more. Something like this. And then you have the click. So this is something like, it's kind of hard to hear, but it's helping you Kick to cut through the mix. And for this one I use sample 60, but obviously I pitch it up more like this, and you can like this, and I didn't touch anything else. You see, it's hard to hear, but when I remove the click, you can feel that it's missing something. And then what I've done, I've changed here a little bit the parameters. So this is like overall process. It's, as you can see, filter, saturation, compression, and limiter. So what I'm gonna do, basically, it's add a bit of a low-cut filter. So this is really interesting when you create Kick to experiment with that. It's basically if you take a cue like this, and you play like this. It's basically what this macro does, and it's really nice to experiment with because it can really get different tone to your Kick and really completely change your Kick basically. Yeah, here I get a bit more punch. A bit too much around here, bit of compression. Nice. And alright, and here I use this stereo macro. Basically it's the rack I showed you in the previous example. It's like adding parallel stereo to your Kick. Alright, and that's our bass. We have something short, punchy, and let's continue. Alright, so next things I want to add, classic, you might have guessed already, it's saturator. And same analog click, bit of drive. Oh, I'll get a bit nasty maybe. Then again, my Corpus preset air bass to add a bit of body. This again, it came from experimentation. So if some stuff doesn't make any sense for you, just keep in mind that I always experiment, try things, remove, try. So just showing you I have done and what everything does. Maybe. Okay, add a bit more body for this one. Alright, and here I've done something kind of... So you have this multiband dynamic, and the thing is there is, obviously the way multiband dynamics work is like cut the frequency range in 3, and you have this crossover frequency basically between the low, mid, and mid-high. But basically by just adding this, without any... If I deactivate, you can see how it works, but you might think it's weird because it's kind of... Oh, sorry. Changing weirdly the sound, but it will help later on. So then here again what I've done, tube distortion, it's work well. I've used it a little bit different this time, but just maybe a little bit of output. Maybe drive around like this. Done minus 25 and gas 17%. Well, maybe a bit. Yeah, tube distortion always work well on Kick. It just adds this little extra distorted round body punch. It's quite hard to explain, but yeah, it does the job. And then what I've done, I've applied an EQ. So you remember I have actually this high pass filter and this low cut. And what I'm gonna do is bring it up until I find something I like. Maybe like this. And then I'm just gonna boost around 3-4 kilo. Alright. Alright, the next what I've done, I add a bit of kick verb, a bit of rumble. I'm maybe gonna put a limiter right now because like this it's avoiding all that, but yeah, basically a bit of rumble. So the thing is with Umek, actually the rumble is kind of more subtle. And let me open this. And here again, I'm gonna bring the rumble off beat. I'm gonna bring it up, but I'm gonna bring the rumble off beat. Bit more decay. And I want it as well very subby. I don't want that much warehouse effect. I just want the bass subby effect and a bit more Q. So yeah, basically this is modifying this EQ here and bringing the filter down and crank it up there. And here I need to... Usually the rumble is mono. Yeah, something like this sounds similar to what I've done. Adding sidechain can help as well. I'm not gonna do it, it's gonna take ages, but adding sidechain can help. Then what I've done, I bring everything in mono. And alright, so next step, I'm just gonna add my kick punch rack, but I'm gonna modify it a little bit. You can hear the reverb is too much pronounced, and a good way to do that is reduce the decay basically, and you still kind of got this reverb effect but without really hearing it. And then you can modify the other parameters, so maybe add bit less crunch. Less crunch. But yeah, a bit of reverb. And maybe alright, that sounds about right. And yeah, you get something pretty similar. So I think that's it for now. Obviously, all of the files are available for free. I will put the link in the description so you can experiment with and create your own. This one are the exact version. Here the recreation I've made, obviously it might differ because obviously I couldn't recreate all exactly the parameter, but the process is the same. You can experiment with. And yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you like this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, guys. See you. Bye bye.